Hi guys, JaeSern here, and I'm picking up where I left off with lesson 1 of the Drawabox course. In the previous video, I did the 3 homework exercises for the line sections of lesson 1, and today I'll go ahead and start the ellipses homework exercises. The first out of the 3 ellipses homework exercises is called the table of ellipses exercise. In front of me, I have a table that's divided into 2 columns and several rows. You can probably guess from the name of the exercise that I'm going to be filling these areas with ellipses. The full instructions on how to do all the exercises are available on the Drawabox lesson pages. For this exercise, you start off by drawing an ellipse inside one of these rectangles, and using the ghosting method, draw an ellipse so that it touches the left, top, and bottom edges of the box. Then you move on to draw the next ellipse, but making sure once again that the left, top, and bottom edges touch. And while drawing these ellipses, you want to try to keep their shape and slant as consistent as possible. Uncomfortable mentions that you should draw through each of your ellipses at least twice. What he means by this is that for every ellipse you draw, you should go over it at least one more time. And what this does is to help accelerate the building of your muscle memory for drawing ellipses. So as you can see here, I'm doing quite a good job at making sure that the edges of the ellipses touch the edges of the rectangles, but I'm kind of struggling when it comes to drawing the larger ellipses. And since my arm is not used to this kind of movement, the larger ellipses seem to look more wobbly and their size is not as consistent. Also, one thing that I noticed is that while drawing through my ellipses for the second time, I usually try to compensate for the errors I made when drawing the first ellipse. So if my first draw through an ellipse is slightly shifted to the right, I automatically try to correct it in my second draw through by shifting it to the left. And because of this, most of my ellipses appear to have double line edges. This isn't exactly ideal because the whole point of drawing through your ellipses more than once is to build up muscle memory in order to draw your ellipses more consistently. But if I'm constantly shifting it left and right, it's not really helping my case here. What I'm going to do to try and fix this is to not think about correcting my initial trajectory for each ellipse and to just focus on drawing through exactly over my first ellipse instead. For the next row, I'm going to draw a wave horizontally through the rectangle and draw my ellipses in there. This makes the exercise more challenging because now each ellipse will have different heights. At the same time, I'll still try to maintain the same width and slant for each ellipse. Alright, so now I'm just going to speed up the footage of me finishing the rest of this and the next page of this exercise. Okay, now I'll be trying the ellipses in planes exercise. And for this, I'm going to need to reuse the planes that I drew back in the ghosted planes exercise from the previous video. This exercise is pretty simple. The goal is to draw an ellipse within each of these planes. And once again, the ghosting method will be used here. Try to make each ellipse as smooth as possible while doing your best to make their edges meet the edges of the plane. My ellipses came out pretty smooth, but I didn't do such a great job at making the edges meet. Drawing the ellipses took way less time compared to drawing these planes, and I was done in less than 5 minutes. What I learned from doing this exercise is that having a plane to guide the ellipse seems like a really good way to draw circles in perspective, and I'll try to use this in my future drawings. So after completing 2 pages of the ellipses in planes, I move on to the next exercise, which is called the funnels exercise. Now this exercise requires a little more setup than the previous ones. We will be drawing our ellipses inside funnels, like I'm doing here. First, you're going to draw out the center line using a ruler, and then this line will be used as the midpoint for your funnels. Next, you will need something with a round edge to help you draw the arcs. Here, I'm using a small yogurt tub, but you can use whatever you have. Draw an arc on either side of your line, while keeping both of them at an equal distance. Now you have your basic funnel. Then it's time to draw the ellipses. Draw your first ellipse starting in the middle and move out towards the outside. And do your best to make sure that the edges of the ellipse touch the funnel walls. Naturally, the size of your ellipses are going to increase the further out you draw them, and that's okay as long as you keep them upright and perpendicular to the center line. I didn't do a really good job with this funnel right here. As you can see that most of my ellipses are actually leaning to the right, and that's not what you want. You want to keep them as upright as possible. Now this funnel is a better example of what you're trying to achieve. My ellipses here are much more upright and their sizing is more consistent. So now I'm just going to keep adding funnels until I fill up the entire page. So that was the last exercise in the ellipses section. The results were a little below my expectations, but what are you gonna do? The final section of lesson 1 is the boxes section. I will be showing myself attempting those in my next video, so stay tuned. And as always, thanks for watching.